Hello, it's CJ Miller. I'm here. I'm under the full moon. And of course, we come over here. Let's see, downtown Shreveport. Come down here. We'll see my aloe vera plant. I'm about to sit down. Okay, so downtown Shreveport across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. Of course, my gig is to always invite you to come check us out, come see us. I'm here so I can like prop my feet up on this table and basically talk about American Horror Story Delicate Episode 2. Uh, and yeah, I get a little long winded. Before I get into it, I want to talk about this movie Death House that I have. It's in my Voodoo account. I got it as soon as it came out. If you're a horror fan like I am, big genre, uh, and not only just the horror movie, but you love the stars, you love the effects, you love just everything about it, because you're a big fan of the effects as well as the stories and everything like that. What you want to do is you want to check out this movie, Death House. Uh, Everybody is in it. It was pulled together by Matt Gunther, the original Leatherface. It was his dream of an Expendables. Tony Todd puts in an appearance. He was setting up a movie called The Farm. That movie uh, didn't happen, unfortunately. He's setting up, but it's good. It's a good lead-in for what's going on because he's like, "You're coming with me to the farm. You're not. Don't have to worry about what you're hearing from down there. You're coming to the farm." And anyway, so yeah, everybody. Cotter, I'm sorry, Kane Hodder, Cotter, uh, Kane Hodder, famed actor who played Jason. Uh, you know, Dee Wallace, E.T.'s mom, who was, uh, who did a great transformation uh, in The Howling. Who else? Barbara Crampton. But this movie is filled with a lot of icons. If you're a horror movie fan, and you were up until a few years ago, then somebody you know or recognize is going to be in this movie. It's very Lovecraftian, and of course, Lovecraft. Everything modern horror can be traced back to Lovecraft, and of course, Lovecraft was heavily influenced by Edgar Allan Poe. So, yeah, you know. Okay, so American Horror Story, Delicate, Season 2. Uh, Anna Victoria uh, Alcott, I believe is the character's name that Emma Roberts is playing, and it kind of reminds me of uh, Marissa Alcott, Marissa Louise Alcott, or whatever, whoever wrote Little Women. So this is a feminist take on Rosemary's Baby, and I think the name may be alluding to the fact that this is underneath it all going to turn out to be a feminist story. So, which does not bother me at all. What I love Dennis O'Hare. He's not playing an over the top character as of yet, but I can see it lurking, wanting to come forth. Actually, the over the topness is by some of the potential. I think it may actually be one character uh, taking on different forms. There's the Mrs. Preacher character. Uh, in her black and the occasional red. And then there's a younger version of a black woman with the red glasses. And then I got a sense of a little toddler girl being carried uh, in black clothes and the little red glasses. So the same outfit, uh, three different characters. And we're not sure how much is being imagined by Emma Roberts' character or because Rosemary's Baby, Rosemary Woodhouse, was gaslighted all the way through that movie, even by her husband. At one point, she was told that the baby had been born, but it was stillborn. They lost the baby, and that's the climax of the movie. But then, she's hearing the cries coming through the apartment, and then she finds out, hey, there's a door that connects one closet in her apartment to the apartment next door. Well, in this episode, they moved to a new house, and she's hearing something come from the basement. So, could there be a passageway or something in this grand house uh, that connects to another property where there may be some cultish type or some witchy occult type things going on. Earlier in this episode, she starts focusing on this character preacher that she overheard the name at a fertility clinic, and then since then she's been seeing the person everywhere. So could this person be the person that's stalking her or gaslighting her or whatever? That's her concern. So she does a research on it. I don't know what she finds, but for some reason they lead to um, the idea of uh, secret witches, a coven of witches secretly running Hollywood. So are we going to get a witch story? We're getting a Rosemary's Baby, which was a satanic cult, so maybe that's what's going on here. But at the same time, in the the Illuminatus trilogy, which is a book that I've been reading, there is a lot. There's a tie-in with the secret society of the Illuminati, going through different names throughout um, history. Has a purpose, and the purpose is not through uh, movies and TV show. It's through music. You'll find out about that. But anyway, if you read the novel, you'll find out. You'll find out because I'll tell you about it once I finish reading it. So it's such a mammoth book to read. Okay, so American Horror Story, Delicate, episode 2. I like it. I like this show. I love the production of it. It's being well acted. The effects look good. Sometimes I think the thing with the fertility clinic, but then the nuns are dressed in blood red hospital, and that's not something that's typical or normal in a palette of a Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk produced show. Of course, and that's a show run by Ryan Murphy. You would expect that because his color palette, the color is very important to. It's the color is almost as important as the theme of any show that he's on. But in this case, I don't think it's that. For one thing, he's not the showrunner, even though he is a producer, and the producer kind of trumps showrunner. Really, if you want to know, the person the company that puts up the money, they had the final say, even over the showrunner. So, ask Toby Hooper, who was the director and runner of Poltergeist. But if he came, if he ever had quibbles with Steven Spielberg, who was primarily busy with E.T., so I can imagine he really didn't secretly direct, but he probably had influence. He probably had influence in what the producer says is word of God on something like that. So, but that's not the case with the color palette of this. It's very white, off-white with a little eggshell grayish overall, like all the rooms everywhere they go, and that way it kind of reminds me of almost the tone of the movie, the feel of it, the seriousness of it almost reminds me of Apocalypse, except it's not taking place in a centralized location, but it's taking place throughout LA, the nicer parts of LA, and then so they've gone to this new house, and the reason why is because Anne, she goes to accept this award, and just before accepting her first award, the very first award of the award season, she goes to accept this award. She has an encounter in a restroom where it appears that someone has gotten hurt, and she literally just walks away from a woman who has gotten hurt in the bathroom to go accept this award because her category is about to be announced. And it's like, why the hell would you just walk away when you think someone's in jeopardy or hurt? You don't do that. It's like, what? what kind of an asshole person would do that? So instantly, I stopped feeling that this character is is ultra sympathetic. She's got a little gray in her personality that she would let that happen to somebody, but then. As she's accepting the award, you start to see things. Did it happen? Is this character being gaslighted? Well, this is Rosemary's Baby story, so yes, she's being gaslighted. I'm wondering how they're pulling it off. Is she being drugged so to create hallucinations, or are they actually uh, doing the things that various characters that she imagines throughout this big plot twist, that's this big plot that's against her or whatever? Because at some point, and then you get to wonder, are there two factions, one that wants her to be pregnant and one that doesn't want her to be pregnant? Or maybe they want her to be pregnant but they don't want her to know that she's pregnant. Rosemary's Baby, they told her that the baby was stillborn. Well, at the end of episode 2, this is a big twist. I basically at this point have literally spoiled it so much, this episode, but it's been a couple of days, so if you were going to see it, you would have seen it. If it's on your list, you don't want to just continue with this or whatever. But hey, and I don't think it's a big twist. It's a twist that's kind of a ruse, because someone comes in and they do a ultrasound, and it looks like the ultrasound is maybe meant to, at the end of that, it's like, okay, she's lost the baby, the miscarriage. And they went from, like, in this one episode, they went from like week 1 of fertility. The first episode centered around 1 week. Everything fit in 1 week. This episode, they jumped ahead to 12 weeks. So, but there's still a viable embryo. So if she had a miscarriage, are they going to go through and do the second embryo implantation? Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, there's something going on. Like, why would it be crucial to have her have a miscarriage? I don't know. I think maybe it was set up to make it look as if someone had come in and given her a miscarriage, but she might actually still be pregnant. That may actually be the twist, she's had trouble, this character, conceiving a child in the past. So they're like, I wonder if this is going to happen, kind of thing or whatever. So obviously I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much that if I did not have Hulu, if I could not watch the show on Hulu, then I would, if it weren't available, then I really wouldn't want to wait. And I would pay to see the show. If I had to buy each episode singularly on Amazon Prime, I would. So, I'm going to rate it P, as in purchase, meaning that though I'm watching it streaming, if I couldn't stream it and it was only available through purchase, I would buy each episode individually. And the reason why I could say that is because I did that during what season did I do that? May have been Cult. I moved to the building, the Fairmont building over there. There it is, right there. So I moved to that building several years ago, and in doing so, I had missed 1 or 2 episodes, and the only way I could either wait for them to, for the following streaming seasons, because I didn't have cable, or I could buy. And I looked, and I was going to maybe kind of stream through one of the streaming networks where FX and FX Plus was available. But considering that I just moved, it was a little bit out of my budget, so I opted to buy individual episodes of American Horror Story Cult. And so it's like 2 episodes on an Amazon account. Since I have abandoned that account, because I've actually have another account now, another Amazon account. So I don't actually access those 2 episodes. But I'm going to rate this as P, as in I would purchase the episodes individually if that's what it took to be able to watch it. That's how much I'm enjoying the show. So if I'm willing to spend maybe $3 per episode, if I had to, uh, it's a good show for me, in my opinion. Um, American Horror Story Delicate, tentatively rated P for purchase, unless it starts to suck, and then it's going to get an S, or it sucks, or it might get an F for, forget that. I don't know. But right now it's P. And the reason why I say that is sometimes, actually, I've not had any kind of bad negative thing about any of the seasons of American Horror Story. They usually come on with their formula is usually first couple of episodes introduce the characters, some momentum, and then there's a couple of episodes after that where there's some great momentum, lots of things happening, things really really amp up. Then there's a cliffhanger twist right in the middle of the season where you find out that the bad guys are good guys and the good guys are bad guys, something along that line. Things just really flip. Most exemplified in the Asylum season, episode 2. You would see that. It was like, oh my God, what the hell? So, yeah. And then after that, you get, a straightforward plot for a couple of seasons, and then you get to the summary of the last episode or two. This one, Asylum, took 2 episodes to actually sum up everything. It's like they had so many plots twists that they couldn't do a climax in a denouement in one episode. They had to stretch it over 2 episodes. Basically, it's like what happened, all these different little things. It was good though. It was very much. I would tell you what Asylum kind of had the Green Mile effect. Do you remember the Green Mile, the Stephen King movie? That was based off a series of novellas that he published in part, like 6 parts. Okay, so what happened with this story is he goes through the major events of the story. It kind of opens with some characters, and then they do a flashback to a time when, and that's where the body of the story takes place, and then they come back and they talk about everybody's conclusion, the characters, where they went on, what happened to the how they were affected by the events of the story. Another movie that does this very well is A League of Their Own. It opens with the lead character on her way to the American Baseball League Museum or whatever that's being open to honor the All-American Girls Baseball League. And so, and then they do a flashback and tell the whole story of that first season. And then they come back to the present, where they kind of give everybody's backstory. Another story that does this, another James Cameron, Titanic. Okay, so I've given enough examples to exemplify how Asylum was formatted, but they couldn't do the present time in one episode. They had to do it in, or the time for the 70s. It wasn't the present, but they had to do it in. They had to do it in. 2 episodes. It wasn't all going to fit in one episode, but you'll kind of appreciate it if you go back and watch it. And some of that feel, the tone, the seriousness of it, the heaviness of it is what I'm feeling in American Horror Story Delicate, based on the novel Delicate Condition. Okay, rated P for purchase. So that's it. And for me, love and light. As always, God bless and good night.